Look, there's a lot of things that go into making a campaign work. You can have the best idea with the fantastic scripts, well shot, but if the talent in there isn't right, if it doesn't reflect who you're trying to talk to or what you're trying to say, then the whole thing will fail.
The talent can make or break a campaign. So, I'd have to say it's critical. We really push ourselves to think hard about who the right fit is.
I've seen wonderful ideas not executed properly because of poor talent choice. And I've seen the reverse, ideas that looked okay, but when you get the right talent, it's spectacular.
It's all about casting, It's, I think it's everything. It's casting, especially for the storytelling. If you do the wrong casting, you can ruin the ad, I just saw like a beautiful ad from Lacoste, like a guy following a woman on the train. The cast is so right, I couldn't see anyone else doing that, I think cast is everything. It's part of the craft.
I was thinking about the role of talent and how things have changed there, and I think certainly back to my early days of working in the creative department, the talent we were using was very much the cliched sort of model look.
The talent in those days was based on what people assumed the identity of the Australian brand was. So it was blue-eyed, blonde-haired, guy, girl, looking fabulous and probably completely unrelated to the reality out there.
I think a big thing that drives creatives is doing work that is genuine, that is authentic. It's less about this model image and more about people who represent the audience that we're talking to. It used to be about aspiring, now I think it's more about reflecting.
Everyone knows Dove campaigns, reflecting the full breadth of womanhood in all its glory and trying to make women feel proud of their bodies regardless of what shape or size they are. That has really triggered brands to think a lot more deeply about how they represent their customer, their audience.
People are speaking up. You see the whole empowerment of minorities, women, LGBT community. People are finally waking up for diversity, right?
I was fortunate enough to be a judge at Cannes last year for the PR category, and you definitely saw the trend to diversity coming out in all the work that was coming from markets across the world, even from China, right through to South America. There is growing awareness of the need to better reflect who their true audience is.
We live in a diverse culture. You cannot be tone deaf.
I certainly know in the United States that 3 major brands recently, Verizon, General Mills and HP, put the challenge forward to their agencies and said you have to be far more diverse internally and with the work that's going out.
A great example of how a brand can do it wrong is like what happened with Pepsi. I'm pretty sure if they had diversity in the creative department, they were coming up with the idea, I think they wouldn't have done what they did,
Increasingly, our briefs are becoming complex because we want to make sure that we're reflecting the real community. We've still got a long way to go in terms of the representation of true Australia.
Australia's a really interesting market. Ultimately, we're quite small. I think some brands are starting to think more about diversity within their casting, but I think they tend to be more niche brands. It'll probably just take one decent-sized brand to do it.
Dun, 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 dun.
A good example from the US was a campaign for Campbell's Soup. It's a pretty conservative brand.
Cooper, I am your father. No, no, no. I am your father.
Going into that place, doing it in a really lovely, genuine way. So when we see that here, I think it'll just be the catalyst for more and more.
Diversity to me, is far more than ethnicity. It obviously spans across everything.
To tell human stories, you have to show humor. The more diverse people you put in a room to come out with an idea, the best the outcome is going to be.
If brands want to continue to hold on to the way they take their message to market, then I think it's going to be really important that their consumer feels like they're being spoken to by someone who is like them or represents them.